like all municipalities to ban fireworks and fireworks sales. Currently within the city of Toledo, we prohibit state of Oregon illegal fireworks. Do not prohibit sales of state of Oregon legal fireworks. I would like Robeson, if you could fill us in from the fire board's side of things.
They brought up a discussion to do exactly what you said. You couldn't hear me.
Yeah, it is.
The Fire Defense Board, which is a group of fire chiefs throughout the county. And we kind of stand normally as a unified front on decisions being made throughout whatever it is we're working on, whether it be to declare an emergency or whatever it might be, fire restrictions going on, opening or closing. So we kind of stand as a unified front, and that is within combination of the State Fire Marshal and Oregon Department of Forestry, and then we got some other players in the game. It sounds like a majority that would like to do exactly what you said by stopping, restricting the sales of legal fireworks.
You said normally unified, so.
Yes, I
where are
did.
you?
Me?
Yeah.
Why
Where?
do we want to stop the safe and sane fireworks when we can't stop the other ones? Did anybody get woke up by sparklers on New Year's?
We got woke up by massive fireworks.
By boomers,
There were not
Yeah,
sparklers.
yeah, I know.
And those are illegal.
And I understand the point of view of a lot of this. There are injuries from illegal fireworks. There are fatalities. There are houses that burn, and there's fields that burn. It's true. But I disagree with this stance.
My kind of view on it, and this might ruffle some feathers, but I kind of equate it to gun violence. Every time there's a mass shooting, people want to restrict more and more guns, which restricts the legal citizens. Well, all these people are going up to Washington and Idaho or places and buying all these illegal fireworks, coming down here and popping them off, and they want to restrict our legal citizens. I've asked Shannon to come in and talk. She's part of the Toledo Fest, which the sale of fireworks is a huge thing for Toledo Fest. Lincoln County don't get what Toledo does for the county itself. It's huge. I think it would be a huge mistake. My 2 cents.
So as I understand it, we actually apprehended some illegal fireworks shooters the other night.
Sure.
And that is the first ones I've heard of in many years. Because they usually shoot it off and go right back in their house. And you can't catch them in the act, you're not gonna catch them.
Or wasn't much denying it as he posted. He was proud of it.
Exactly. So he apologized for
Yes.
making people up. That was the part that I thought was amusing.
Advertising helps.
Yes. Stu?
I have done fireworks for 20+ years. And I think it is, first off, I think it's part of our growing up, learning about stuff. And 4th of July has a lot of historic stuff, and fireworks is one of them. And as long as we keep it what's legal in Oregon, the snakes, the sparklers, whatever else, I think we're still in the game. But to ban everything is just going to be a travesty. And the other stuff on there, I would say, if you want to get a permit, and I would say for my birthday a few years ago,
I remember.
yeah, I put on a fireworks show because I was turning from a younger guy to an older guy. And I put on a fireworks show and everybody came down and watched, and it was awesome because I got a permit. It's on public property. We did everything right and everybody enjoyed it. But the illegal ones, yes, I think we should pursue that. But the other ones, I think that kids and everything else, just to be into the mainstream of what our heritage is and such. should remain the same, and I would not go along with ban ones that are sanctioned for Oregon.
Those ones that are already legal.
And
I sent the article when I saw it to Shannon because that was the first thing I thought of was Summerfest. And I was like, she needs to know what's going on, so I'm glad you're here tonight. Yeah.
Shannon, did you want to speak to us?
got a chair for you.
Oh, yeah, I was like, big shit.
Yeah.
Good job.
The sale of the fireworks is actually our second largest fundraiser for the fireworks that we display every year. So this would greatly hinder our
So,
next
and
year's
this would
revenues.
impact the best fireworks show in Oregon.
Yes,
Actually, it's the best fireworks show I've seen in numerous states, honestly.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to, you know,
yeah. So yeah, I would greatly hinder our progress.
thank you.
That's about all I have.
So let me see if I can sum this up. And I will tell you that, those of you that know me, you called, what was it? You called me earlier? Hardcore or what? Cutthroat. Well, we have a couple of mayors in the county who have been mad at me now for over a year because I don't support a fireworks ban. One of them sent me an email saying, didn't you see the fire on the beach? Yeah, I did. And it was idiots with illegal fireworks.
Thank you.
Okay?
Legal in the first place.
They weren't legal fireworks that started that. Illegal fireworks, being a fool. They can pay for it. Okay? That's how our system works. You do something stupid, that's illegal, you pay the price. One of the things that I have always enjoyed about Toledo is the safe use of fireworks. Our people don't walk over to the middle of a dry grass field and go, let's see what happens if I lay my sparkler on the ground and let it go. We do a good job of raising our kids. We do a good job of making sure people understand what a firework, even a legal firework, can do. Summer Festival is arguably the biggest event in this county every year. It's bigger than the county fair. Okay, people need to remember that. One of the reasons it's bigger than the county fair is because we do have the best fireworks show in Oregon. And the way they raise money for that is through the sale of fireworks. Now, everyone agrees with me on this other issue. Well, gosh, how are we going to enforce it? And that's my other question. How are you going to enforce it when all they have to do is drive to Corvallis? How are you going to enforce this? Are you gonna put your guys, are you gonna go hire 800 extra police officers to stand on street corners in every town? It's not gonna happen. So in my mind, it's not only, how do I say this? It's not only socially acceptable in our town. It's not feasible in any of these towns. And maybe because we don't have the massive amounts of tourists, but guess what? It's not always tourists that set those things off, as we all know, don't we, Kim? Folks, I'm going to be yelled at and I don't care, but I do not support any fireworks ban of Oregon licensed fireworks sales in this town, sales or the ability to let them off. And I am very happy to see that we are all in agreement with that.
That makes me very happy.
Me too. I was a little
Seriously, when
concerned
I
about
read
this.
all this, I thought,
Yeah.
oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I
Concerned
read,
about it.
And Mayor, I'll
Yeah,
just
Rick,
comment, our municipal code says, was last amended in January 21, TMC 9.04120. Says the Oregon fireworks law, ORS chapter 480, together with regulations are adopted by reference and made a part of this chapter. So we've just adopted this.
Well, that's because that was the first time that all came up
Yeah,
and we said no.
yeah.
And so we went.
So I just thought for the record, I'd state, you know, where legal's legal and illegal is illegal and.
There you go.
Yeah.
And even if you're using legal fireworks, if you set fire, say to your neighbors, whatever, okay, and you cause damage, you're liable for it.
Yep.
That's the way our law works. So as far as I know, we do a good job of policing ourselves. So. I don't have
Isn't
issue.
that how it works? So we reject it
Mhm.
and then we're gonna hear about it again.
Oh,
Is
well,
that-
you probably won't. I will.
Oh, okay.
And you reject it and the port will be, or the Summerfest will be happy because their sales will increase because everybody will come to Toledo.
But then years from now, they'll try to ram it.
It's perfect.
This isn't the first year, but they can't. That's the thing. This is called home rule. And this is, so with home rule, okay, home rule works like this. The state can make laws that override us, but there's gonna be a lot of pushback. That's what the LOC does. Okay, the county can try and make rules that apply to the whole county. But they can't because they can't override our rules if our rules state something different.
So we have some autonomy.
Yes, we have autonomy in what we can and can't do in the town.
So
Okay?
they cannot force the
They
issue.
cannot force us to shut down fireworks.
But as far as Toledo, it's my understanding that we have right now enough ordinances, whatever, on the books, that if law enforcement does need to go after somebody, we can do that.
Oh, yeah.
And also, if it is, let's just say an extreme dry season, and we want to shut down fireworks, we have that on the books. We can say, yes, it's too dry, folks. I'm sorry.
It's a temporary.
Temporary, because I was reading through those and a lot of them have may because of weather-related issues and such on there. So what I object to is the sale. If people want to fundraise and such on there, that's been a traditional thing. And I think we should keep that on there. But as far as the
Right, and we
the
can't,
other stuff, if there's a need to have an ordinance or something that say weather related or crowd control or whatever else, then we can look at it again.
right, so was it last spring or the spring before that we had unseasonably dry spring?
I think it was the one before, and it's very typical to have the very early dry springs, and we have all the winter kill underneath the fresh growth.
Right.
And it's very flammable.
Well, but remember, we were looking at it because if it continued, we might have to.
And we can have short-term closures. We've
Right.
done that more than once.
Which is what-
During this week or two, we're gonna have east winds and
Yep.
let's not burn, shall we?
Not gonna burn.
And we get pretty good compliance. We ask them not to and they don't.
Yep.
Well, yay.
Or we could just say on public property, so if somebody wants to do this in your backyard, that's one thing, but on public property in Toledo, we can do stuff.
When it turns into the fire restrictions, then we can have a little more teeth over it.
Right.
Because we're doing it for the weather conditions that we have that could cause like a lot of public damage. It would be out of their hands quickly, so.
We had that east wind that we had during the Otis fires,
Yeah,
right? Echo Mountain, that wind was ridiculous.
that was set precedence, or that was
Yeah.
amazing.
I mean, it just seems like we already have on the books some
Yeah.
Capabilities.
reasons to close up, like we have a burning season and such on there,
Yes.
and we can discuss that later, but that's one thing that we can shut down people doing outside activities.
Yeah.
With flame,
Yes.
yes.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, with flame. And we have layers to that, so if it does get super dry, we do go as far as no fire unless it can be turned off with a switch, like propane.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that includes Traegers too, but
It's a switch.
yeah,
You
yeah,
do it inside though.
yeah, do it inside.
You're trying to score points this week, aren't you?
Not that I've done.
Counselor, I'd say there's a lot of regulations
That's what I had to say,
and
it's the mayor.
I don't, yes, we
We've been
could
down this
use
road.
home rules or to draft some additional if they were needed. And at this point, I don't think there's been a need.
All right. Anything else on this topic?
Mm-mm.
All right. Next item, decision item, approve fire health and safety officer position and salary range. Chief, come on right back up front.
Getting your exercise tonight.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I will let you and city manager Wiggins fill us in.
All right. Defer. So we lost our maintenance officer, Daniel Morford. He took a job in Siletz doing basically the same thing there. It's a good move. He was very happy. He wants to be there. He's from there. But it left us with a vacancy. So what I'm proposing and asking is to replace the position with basically a new title and some new responsibilities. Kind of term it as a health and safety position. And they would be in charge of all PPE for the fire department, of course, which is something that Daniel did. And so that would still be covered. But then it would get a little bit more broad spectrum and cover basically every position in the city that would need any first aid CPR training that would need to be done. They could do it. We can do it now, but trying to line up schedules can be a little touchy. This person would be a day shift and that'd be your job. One of your jobs, go, do a CPR class at Public Works and be more available for that. They would also be a responder, which still retains that position for us. They would kind of be, I kind of refer to it as an outside liaison to HR. And if anything would happen with an injury, they could work in the field with somebody who had an injury, do the paperwork, process it. They need a ride to the hospital, but they don't need to go by ambulance. They could help out with that. Maybe some basic wound care if anything's needed following. But it would be more of a citywide resource, maintaining some of the just the reoccurring documentation, of course, first aid, but then there's the bloodborne pathogens, which is an annual. Then there's any shots that are required by any positions. And so that's what I'm.
Hearing exams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The other hope is if we can find the right person, we may be able to get somebody that would be able to draw DUI blood draws. And which would save us considerable money because the ambulance charges us now to do it, to drive over here and pull them versus, or if they take them over, I guess, maybe. I don't know how the process works. Sergeant Pitcher can fill you in on that, but otherwise they can, we can have it done in-house and it would be considerably cheaper.
So what's the future of the maintenance side of it? I know in the short term, we're looking at Siletz, which is good because Daniel's there and he knows all our equipment.
yeah.
So, but my question is, knowing Daniel,
Mhm.
Daniel will probably be chief out there at some point in the future.
Possibility. He's got a good leader for teaching in that. So I wouldn't rule anything out.
So at that point, then who would we have to run maintenance on our rigs?
Currently, that would be, if that did become something, it'd be probably at least a 3-year timeframe.
Okay,
We are holding on to him as a resource. Chief Lapoff out there said if anything breaks, he's yours if we need it. And we've already had him over troubleshooting a couple little things that happened and have already got fixed. The maintenance on the air packs is in the health and safety position
Okay.
as management of it, but at this point, they wouldn't most likely be certified at it. Daniel's certified. When he was in Toledo, Siletz and us went in on his training to go down to Anaheim to have the class. So I think we paid for the class and they paid for the flight and hotel room. So while he's been in Toledo, he's been servicing both our air packs. We still have that agreement in place to service both air packs because now splitting it up even more, we have the test bench to do it and the equipment, which does come with an annual recertification of the equipment, just like they're gonna have the recertification of him. So now it actually works out a little bit more equal on that side, on that spectrum. Bigger stuff, at this point, we're just kind of managing in-house a little bit. There may be a future plan to go a little bit more broad with that. But at this point, borrowing him when we need it and then doing some of the smaller stuff ourselves.
We're in discussions with the town mechanic and the management as well on looking at revamping our fleet program and bringing stuff back in-house that we currently send out of house, which might save some money. Additionally, now to work on fire trucks, some of the pumps and stuff, they'd have to get certifications and those types of things, but general maintenance, changing the oil and stuff, and to take a truck to Newport to have the oil change, we could do it in-house and those types of things. I'm we're in discussions, talking about that stuff and how it would look and what it would take to do to bring it all in to handle our own fleet management for general maintenance. And then that person also, what I'm looking at on that is that person would, if something major needs to be done, that person would line it up and say, okay, you need to take the fire truck over to Newport to have it to this place to work on the transmission or something big,
Yeah, whatever's
something
needed.
like that if they can't handle it, so.
I just want to make sure that we're covering those bases.
Yeah, we won't neglect any of that stuff. It'll still be managed, but now it would be managed a little bit more by a shop in the near future, but by something or ourselves.
Any questions, council?
I'm a little bit confused. So does this position not exist now? Or
Correct.
is this?
Correct.
Oh,
Correct.
okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, it's renewing, or it's a new position, but eliminating an old position. So there's no change in our employment numbers. It's just a new job title.
Okay.
But it incorporates
Incorporating more.
a little more plus some of the things.
And it pulls some of the stuff from what Daniel's job maintenance was. Data logging and issuing all PPE, but it's also gonna absorb a kind of an untitled position, which is management of medical stuff. We just kind of like, yeah, you do this and you do this. It doesn't have a home. This gives the management of that a home for us, which kind of takes a little bit of load off honestly, mostly Shannon, but a little bit of each of us to manage that.
Stu, anything?
I was just already had a conversation, but I was just thinking, oh, is this another position? But it's not, it's just revamping.
Correct.
And embellishing another.
Anyone in the audience or online wish to speak to this topic? Yeah, like,
There's no online audience.
all right. I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the position and salary range for the fire health and safety officer.
Second.
Been moved by Kim, seconded by Frank. To approve the position and salary range for the fire health and safety officer. I'll take a roll call vote. Counselor Strong,
Yes.
Counselor Burns,
Yes.
Counselor Sylvia,
Yes.
Council President Bush,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Motion carries 5-0. There you go, chief.
All right.
Mayor,
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to ask if you would entertain discussion about a bond going forward.
Yes, I would do that. Let me add this here. Okay,
So, as you guys know, our initial bond failed for the public safety building and the Ammons. We're coming up on the deadline to which, if we're gonna put the bond on in the next election was it May?
May.
In May, we have a mid-February deadline. So some of that, if we decide to move forward, we need direction from council, if that's what we're gonna do, one, the same, or two,
Hold on a
are we
second.
gonna split it?
Lisa?
I just wanted to add to Doug's, I talked with the county clerk today and it's not mid-February.
Oh.
Our deadline is, March 21st to submit the.
Thank you. Okay, I was beginning to wonder why it's 2.5 months ahead when.
I think we have to have the ballot title or something by that, don't we?
Yeah, we have to have the ballot title, the measure and the explanatory statement to the county clerk by
Okay.
March 21st.
21st. Okay, that makes sense.
So we're just coming up on that timeline that we need to get going and give direction, because if we're gonna split it, we need to go back to the bond council and have that all drafted back up for if we're gonna split the Emmons tank and the public safety building, are we giving up on one and just doing one? What are we doing? And staff has no direction on what to do, so we can't, make that decision which way you want to go. So we thought this was appropriate time to kind of have that discussion, and it sounds like we can make a decision in January 17 meeting, but since we are pushed back to March, which is better, but I think that needs to be in your guys' thought process. That's what I'm asking.
Initial thoughts, council?
My thought would be to split it. Split the two, have people make their own decisions on the Hammond water tank and then public safety, because I know there's a lot of people out there that did not want to fund the public safety, but wanted to fund the Hammond water tank, but with the two combined, that no anyways. So my only suggestion would be to split them and it'd be, have a better chance at both of them passing or one or the other.
I would agree with Frank on council. Exactly the same sentiments that I've heard around town and the fact that the tank and such on there needs to be replaced. And it's for the benefit of the community and such on there, public safety building. It's been a little contentious, so.
When did you get so diplomatic, Sue?
It was after those fireworks at that big birthday party.
So in order to get what we really, really need to get done, I know we need to get both of them done, but this one really needs to get done. So to get it into the work periods and such, so.
How much of a time gap would there be between one bond and the next?
They'd be on the same ballot.
It'd be on the same ballot.
They're Separated.
It'd just be two, there would be
Gotcha,
two
okay.
bond measures on the ballot. then.
Like bond measure 101 and 102.
Okay, then, okay, all right, I got you, thank you.
I understand what they're saying and I agree with both of what they're saying. My only thought process is it was really simple and made sense from a math perspective. We're not raising your taxes. They'll actually go down a little bit for both of these things, splitting it up. Now we've got math going on in two different places. And people just automatically assume their taxes are going up and they're gonna see it going up twice instead of seeing it going up once. When it's really not going up at all, it's actually going down. But you know what
I
I'm
know what you
saying?
mean. So, and that's one of the things that if we can write that into the measures, you can write that into the measures, that even if you pass both of these measures, the taxes will go down. If that could be in both measures,
Yes.
I think that's vital to having a shot at getting them both passed. I understand
Yeah,
exactly what you guys are saying.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
also I interject that maybe looking at it and putting one bond on the tank first, and then in a subsequent election, putting the other one on and saying, okay, this is what it is. So we could do a sell job heartily on one and then the other.
because if we did that, if I can piggyback on that, then on the next one, we could say we've already spent this much, we've already done this work on it, and this is for the next stage of work. Because we already have money allocated and we're starting work on it. And maybe if the community sees we've already actually invested in it, maybe that would make a difference. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, so I want to make sure the other two counselors get in on this. So let's have discussion / decision, because we could probably do it in one. Yes, ma'am.
And the very latest that I would probably say that the council can approve a resolution for this, just with giving the time frame to prepare the actual ballot measure and publishing it on the website and the newspaper for the public appeal process. Very latest, I would probably say February 21st.
Okay. Well, so let's plan on having it for discussion on the 17th. Okay, and then let's have a resolution on the first meeting of February. That's it. Okay, I'm ready, okay, because like I said, I want everybody involved in this discussion because it's about money. And I think it's vital that we're all here to talk about that. I understand all of the sentiments here. I'm not decided which way I want to go.
Yeah.
So
What's the term of the bond?
20 years, correct?
20,
20.
roughly 20 to 21, I guess, depending on
We just
whatever.
finished the fire department. or
So the fire department ends on June 30th. This would step right in on July 1. That was the idea. And as long as we pass it in March, whichever way we decide to go, it'll be that same seamless step.
Same time, even though it's another election back.
Right.
And correct me if I'm wrong, so the only major drawback to separating it and doing it at two different times, doing the water tower now and the public safety on a different election is people will definitely, if they vote yes on the water tower, they're going to see their taxes go down.
Yep.
And then we're going to have to convince them to raise their taxes again the next, even though it's still less than what they're paying now.
Yes. We'll have that part of the uphill climb.
Which may make it even harder to get it. to
Well, that-
Maybe not.
That also depends on bond rates.
I think it's
Yeah.
Depends on what?
Bond
Yeah,
rates.
That's a discussion we'll have next.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
that would be my thought.
Well, and if the Fed has anything to say about bond rates, we might be getting lower rates as we go through this year. So I'm kind of hoping for that too. What's that?
About,
I didn't say anything.
Oh,
I just said can't hurt, might help, yeah.
yeah. Is that what you needed, Doug?
Yeah, we just needed to know kind of what you're thinking so we can gather data for the next meeting and
We don't
start
know.
working towards getting those things and lined up and stuff. So,
We'll get you an answer.
yeah, that's fine.
Sort
All right, we'll go reports and comments. I'm not gonna have Sergeant Pitcher give us a big report because his wisdom tooth is screaming. Chief Robinson.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much, for the, what, you want me up there?
Uh-huh.
Was this because we have company? Yeah.
No, it's because I like watching you get up and down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the fact I can. Thank you very much for approving that position. I'm excited about that. It's, like you've heard, it's gonna be a new one for us, but I'm kind of hoping that it's one for us. As a community person, it's gonna be kind of exciting. So, other than that, I think we topped out the year with a new record over history. Only by a couple, like 116 this time, and I think 109 was before, so. The final numbers aren't tallied, but it looks like we're definitely in a record, so. That's kind of good, I guess. That's even without some of our old frequent flyers with what we have. Not much more than that, quite honestly. It's a new year, so we're getting ready for what's next. Cold weather.
So it looked like you had your first call out on South Bay Road today. I saw a lot of lights out there.
Well, actually, we had two in a row. We had one yesterday at a different address, all the way at the far end of South Bay, but yeah, we were out there again today. Gotta wash the truck. Whew, it's filthy out there from being out there.
Gravel road.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, actually, 2 days in a row, different addresses all the way out South Bay. Yeah, it's kind of sweet. Yeah. Well, open invitation. Anybody ever wants to come up to the station? We had a couple new counselors. Ideally, if we could schedule, it would be nice, so I could, make sure that double time things, but
We can actually check out a fire truck?
do whatever you want up there.
Don't give him that option.
We got some new tools up there that'd be kind of interesting. We got a lot of battery powered tools.
It'll cut a pot in half.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I got. Thank you.
Any questions for Chief Robinson?
All right.
Lisa, do we have any department heads online tonight?
We do not.
Okay, so Lisa, your report?
I just have a couple of reminders. January 24th is our council goal setting, and so we'll be starting that about 12 o'clock in the afternoon with lunch provided. Either lunch, snacks, or dinner provided, depending on how quickly the council works that day.
When did you say it started?
12 p.m.
Are we doing that at the fire department again?
Where would the council like to have it? Would you like to be here in the council chambers, or would you like to be at the fire department?
Yours. Oh, that's just us, it's yours. Yeah. I'm fine here.
Okay,
Just pull out the tables and.
we will have it here. And then February 21st is the League of Oregon Cities, Small Cities meeting, and for changing things up, that will be here instead of the fire department.
So say that again, when is it?
February 21st.
And if you like pulled pork, you need to be there.
And that's at noon.
February 21st.
That's at,
11 to 1.
yeah, 11 to 1, yeah.
That's like the one you went over to Newport. It's one of those meetings.
Right.
And the
And if you-
we're fitting everybody in this room?
The League of
Well,
Oregon
right now,
Cities.
we'll see how many we
Small
sign.
cities.
We'll only move it if we have to.
And if you'd like to go, let me know so I can register you.
I will be there.
Okay,
I have to check my schedule.
that's all I have currently.
And the January 24th one is 12 noon to what?
January 24, or yeah, 24th is 12 until whenever the council finishes.
Whenever we get done.
February 21st was 11 to 1. 11 to 1.
Thank you.
All right.
So I will not be at the first hour and a half of our goal setting.
Right.
I think I get done at 1:30 at the school and I'll zip over here as quick as I can.
Probably that first hour to hour and a half will be review of where we're at.
Okay.
Right, so then we can start making goals moving forward.
Amanda,
Quite a bit going on. It's that time of year. We're a little shorthanded up in finance right now. So Cindy and I are working fast and furious. Still in the middle of employee investigations, so that's taking a lot of staff time, unfortunately, but hopefully we'll be through that in the next week and a half. We're looking to have everything concluded. It's end of year, so we're also working on, of course, 1099s, W-2s, all of that fun stuff. And then we also have a safe audit coming up January 30th, so on top of budget season.
Nice.
Nothing too exciting to report. One new tool I am going to be implementing soon is an IVR system. So I will update council when that is in place. This is, so this is a module that's available. A lot of other organizations use it. It's to take credit card payments over the phone. It's a phone system. And this is something, past practices here at City of Toledo has been, citizens would call to make any type of payment and employees were taking their credit card over the phone, which is kind of a compliance issue and really not a good practice to be taking the cards not present. There's a lot of just liability it opens up for us. I have been speaking with one of our third-party vendors, Civic Pay, who is the company that already handles all of our online credit card payments when people go to the City of Toledo website, and they have an IVR system that we can implement with Springbrook. So we're gonna be working with them to get that in place. We'll add that to our phone tree, so when citizens call in and wanna make a payment, they can select that option, and it just walks them through entering their account information, their own card information, and that way they're the ones doing it, not us.
Nice.
good,
That sounds smart.
excellent. Any questions? Welcome to budget season.
Yes, my first city budget season. I am looking forward to it.
Well, tell Wade that the first week of July is your vacation period. You need it.
Okay. I'm gonna tell them.
Yeah, tell them the mayor said so.
It's mayor crosses orders.
That's when city managers and finance directors take their breaks. It's July.
Get through and.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mike, any report from our attorney?
You know, just plugging away. Some of the things that Amanda commented on and some other things just been busy.
Any questions for Mike? All right. Doug?
My turn. So as you said, budget season starting. The 23rd, we will be sitting down with our department heads, which is our normal department head meeting. They'll be getting their packets to begin working on their stuff. So, yeah, everybody's gonna start getting busy on the department head level up, in working on budgets. So, I believe on the 24th, a few of them will probably come and talk to you about some of their goals, so you guys can be aware of their goals and incorporate, hopefully, or redirect, however the council feels, priorities and those types of things, as we work on the budget. So, as you guys know, goal setting is so important. We ask that you please be here. That gives the overall direction of the budget. So it's so important that you guys attend to hear. I know you're gonna be late, but we'll hear you. So.
Yeah, I'm already scheduled for the whole school year and I can't change that.
Because when it comes down to, when we're looking at things to balance and cut, it's gonna come back to what hits the goals.
I'll get
You know,
you
that's
as
what it
fast
comes
as I
back
can.
to. So,
Great.
additionally, Arcadia is finally
Yeah.
finally moving forward. We were on a long pause because of inspections. So those inspections got completed finally. And so now the finished work is to begin. So according to my public works director, he said the end is near now. The plumbers and the electricians will be in to do the finished work, and I'm hopeful maybe March will be open, you know, with the restrooms, maybe a little earlier. I'm giving myself a big cushion there because the contractors are so far and fetched when they come. So sometimes they come and you're not even ready or whatever. So. The only other thing to add is I just wanted to reiterate on the investigations that they are summing up. And I know the city attorney and the assistant city manager are reviewing one of those reports now. So I think one of those items should cure up here in the next week or so. The other one probably about 2 weeks out. So is anticipation unless something comes up that we don't realize. So and that'll be good to get that behind us so we can start moving forward again. So that's about all I got right now. The contracts are all signed on the public safety building. They got 30 days to start construction. Our guys should be up there within the next week or two to start demo work on the parts that are coming down, the little walkways and the drive-through and that type of stuff. So, and the stairs. So, that will probably hopefully save us they had budgeted around 25 to 30,000 on their bid for the demo work. If we can get that done, that'll hopefully be some cost savings there to us on the contract. So
is the first part all outside pretty much?
pretty much all outside and windows.
So we don't have to worry about what's inside right now.
They're gonna tear up a little bit. There's some structural things they're gonna do, but for the most part, it's all outside. It should look like a pretty building when it's done, at least on the outside, minus new doors.
Okay.
But that's where we're at. I don't know. Did you want to talk about the rec center and where we're at there? Or?
So next meeting, we're gonna have our IGAs between the Urban Renewal Agency and the pool and the city and the pool, so that we can get the RFPs out. Because our goal is try and get those out by the end of the month.
What's RFP?
Request for proposal to put the building up and see what happens there, see what comes back. We have a pretty fixed monetary line that we can do. And so we want to see if it can be done. We believe so, talking to a couple of contractors. But you won't know until we get the request back. So be ready for that. We'll be going over those. That's what our wonderful attorney has been plugging away at, is getting those done. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, Mayor, Council, I have the one between the URD and the city done and resolutions for the city to adopt it, URD to adopt it. I was working on the other IGA today, which was basically with the pool district for us to pay 2/3, them to pay 1/3 of the engineering. The architect doing the initial plans so that we can put out the RFP and the geotechnical consulting. That's gonna be required to pull dirt and seed.
And for those of you that weren't on
Foundation wise.
council earlier last year, when we did the URA budget, we set aside 40K for a community center. So we have the money to to get this started, get the ball rolling. We have the money already there. Don't have to worry about that.
And then in that RFP, I'm contemplating. You know, Doug and I and you and people, you know, Council President Bush that have been on the committee contemplating, having them spend their money first, because the pool's gonna be the first phase, and then whatever's left is what we can afford, and that way, you know, we can wait a little bit to do the bond
Actually, we're doing a line of credit,
or line of credit.
so we're gonna run this as a line of credit rather than a bond. And then that way, we only pay interest on that line of credit when we use it, and then after. Once we're done, it'll convert over to a loan, and then, of course, then we have our monthly annual payments, so. We were approved tentatively, the 3.8 million, so. That could fluctuate a little bit up and down, but. Depending on rates and things.
And if you're wondering where that money comes from, that comes out of the URA, urban renewal.
Basically, your annual URA payment will come in with then turn around, transfer to the city to pay the loan. So that's why we have to have the IGA agreement in place so
Yes,
that
dude.
that would happen.
You have that luck.
I have that look, and it's a question, and so the pool part is getting done first, and then the community center will be
Okay,
built.
so the way, so this is what you think. So their money is on a strict timeline,
Yes,
okay? So the pool work's gonna be where it starts and then it goes down the hill.
okay, that's,
Right. It's still all gonna be done, but it's just, we need to start at the pool end because their money is the end time.
then we'll doing the refurbs on the pool and such on there, then.
And then it's just moving down the hill.
And then it moves down the hill.
Yeah. I know, the wording was odd.
Yeah, well, I just
We
thought,
can talk about doing a cover
No.
sort of thing. But the
Um,
community center will have courts inside and it'll be marked for different games. So there'll be multiple sets of lines, so you can do
Yeah.
different things in there.
yeah, so if you look at the footprint of the gym is essentially the footprint of the tennis courts,
Okay.
okay? That footprint is big enough to have one really nice court going this way and two standard courts going this way. So the idea with that large of a space is to be able to partition it off as a normal course of business. So that, for example, come springtime, one side still for basketball, the other side for, like, if you have a batting cage or softball and baseball teams to come in and use, so they can come in and practice. You can pull it up, the markings will be down for volleyball on both sides and on the big. It's so that it'll be a true multi-purpose place. Because one of the other things we want to do, that we've been looking at is we need a place for an indoor place for community performances that's not just at one of the schools. And this would be big enough to accommodate that. So,
And we're calling it a community center because there'll be offices and rooms to be used where you pass from the pool down to the courts. We'll have places that can be opened up or closed up, and we're hoping for a daycare, we're hoping for a commercial kitchen, we're hoping. And we may not be able to do all the build out on that, but the space will be there for us to
Space
do
is-
later.
But nothing changes with the pool, then that stays.
the pool's gonna be bigger.
That pool's old.
yeah, the.
It
I
needs
know,
to
I
be
use it.
Yeah.
So we're
Make
gonna
it
add a couple
deeper,
lanes.
Make it wider, so it's.
It's gonna be out of
Yeah, so
commission
it's,
for a while.
it's functional for events.
Right.
Right now, it's too small.
Yeah, right now it's too small to do events, to do sanctioned events in.
Yes.
So they're gonna
Swimming
expand it
and such.
to do
Yeah.
sanctioned swimming events. And then they're gonna be redoing the locker rooms, and now with this, we're doing redoing the locker rooms so that it'll also accommodate the lower portion.
And a couple of family bathrooms.
Yes. Family changing rooms.
Yeah.
But it's up to the pool district to do the pool work.
Well,
Yes.
it's up, the pool district is funding the pool work.
Yes.
And that's why we're talking about their money going first.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
That is the what we want to get out in public.
Right. And if anybody's ever asked.
Yeah, it's not the city doing,
The pool.
redoing the pool, it's the pool district doing the.
Doing the pool, right. And the thing about this agreement that we've been working on with them, is that with this center, they're gonna manage the building. I mean, we'll do maintenance, right? But we don't have to have an employee to work there.
It's a
They will.
partnership for the other parts.
Right. They'll have the employee to do the monitoring, the watching and all that. So, looking forward to this. I know our youth groups are really looking forward to bringing it all under one umbrella if they can. Because, shall we say, volunteerism is dying everywhere. And unfortunately, we got to get it back up and going. And one of the ways we do that is bring everybody together more often so they see the value in what we're doing. So.
Yay.
Any other questions for Doug before his sinuses explode?
What?
Okay.
Really awful.
Council comments, start with Frank tonight.
Right.
Okay, Jackie? Sue?
I just say, went to the, what is it, solid waste management thing and, the meeting, I didn't know it was a Zoom meeting, so I showed up in person, but it is a Zoom meeting. In case anybody wants to tune in. But the things that they talked about was getting rid of RVs and such, and we still have one, I guess it's a chit or something that we can use to get rid of some.
We had two,
one.
we've used one.
We used one, and we might be in the process of using the other one. But we're partnering kind of with the county and a lot of other agencies and such on there. And the other is, the idea is that there are some, let's just say some blighted things that have been put up by, let's just say random people. And we're working to get those taken care of. And I thought that was great. The other thing is, I would applaud the city's efforts in getting down the wreaths and such on there. They did a fabulous job. The rest of this Christmas is over and we can start 2024. And I'm just really looking forward to making this city more livable.
Thank you, Sue. And I am shocked by all the new diplomacy that you're exhibiting. Did you make a resolution?
I
or
get
something?
spanked a lot.
New year, new you. That made me think, I don't know if Ron drove by or not. Are you guys collecting Christmas trees this year for a burn?
Yeah.
Okay, because we hadn't seen anything about it.
I'll
There's
check on
one
that.
in the Main Street that doesn't have a lot of limbs on it, but you can have it.
Okay.
There's also one on Alder Lane Drive, just as soon as you start up the road on the right-hand side.
Somebody threw one out.
But it's just out in their yard,
Yeah, it's been sitting there.
going out ready to be picked
Oh,
up.
there's not a collection,
Mm-mm.
like,
No.
You
fire
drive it
department
to
usually-
They just either drive it, so there are two collections. You can drive it up to Dollar Disposal and they'll take it. Or, as we like to say, take it to the fire department so they can learn to burn. Or burning the.
Yeah, we'll collect them up there. It's kind of on the south facing side by the school district. You put it next to the school district's boat. Actually, it's the bus company's boat. Train
The bus company's
Thank you.
boat?
Somebody up there's got a nice boat and they keep it parked underneath the maple tree and it disappears every now and then and hey, it's great. It's a nice boat. But it's a landmark, so in between the two buildings. Put it by the boat.
Well, I'd say in the past years, the Christmas tree burn was one of the most fun things to do. 'Cause when you're offloading them, sometimes they just ignite before they get.
Oh, I'm sure they explode,
Okay, so
yeah.
what is that?
If you know when it's happening.
If you know
it
when it's
does.
happening.
Take some
And
marshmallows.
he usually has an end to when it's happening.
Oh, I don't know. We usually throw ours, we burn over the bank there and try to keep that clean.
Yeah.
So that's where it goes and we'll do training back there for wildland.
Yeah.
Use them as piles and dig trail around them and works pretty slick. So thank you, but I'll check on that posting.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Not that I can think of.
As most of you know, I went on vacation. I'm glad to be back. Going away to the big city makes me appreciate living here more and more. You know, everyone's going through all the same stuff, right? Housing crunch, inflation. Every business has help wanted signs up. That was true even down there. But those folks look stressed out from the word go. And one of the things that I love about Toledo is we don't let it get to us as much as I think other people do. We're a much more relaxed community in that way, and I appreciate that.
Or we're in denial.
No, I don't think it's denial. I think to be honest, I think it's because in a blue collar place, people know that life's not always gonna be easy. And so when the tough times come, you put your head down and you get through them. You know, wailing and complaining about it generally doesn't get anything fixed.
Yeah.
And this community has always risen to the occasion and got stuff done. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what this year brings, because there are a lot of things we can do and a lot of things we are gonna do. And I'm looking forward to seeing us really just get after it. It's been a pleasure working with all of you for the last year. Looking forward to the forward year. Looking forward to the 24th. I can't wait to hear what the department heads have planned. Because I'll warn you in advance, Larry will come in with something harebrained just to mess with us. So just let him get all the way through whatever it is, and then you'll know.
That'll make it fun.
Yeah.
Larry got some fantastic grants, and it wasn't just Larry, it was your whole crew.
It's the team actually.
They got
He's actually just got another
Last year.
10,000 from Weyerhaeuser for some wildland equipment, but
That's awesome.
Yep.
then Starker gave us 1,500. Firehouse subs.
Yep.
It was a bunch for turnouts. That was,
I actually saw, so down there, I actually saw their national commercial
oh, yeah.
about how they do that. And then I said to my wife as this commercial came on, like, yeah, we got one of those.
Yeah, they treated us good. Yeah, it was good grant for that.
So, it's good to be home. It's good to be back. And, looking forward to the new year. If you're wondering if the city manager and I are looking tired over the next, 2.5 months, we're the coaches for the junior high boys basketball team, and we practice at 6 a.m. in the morning.
Holy crow.
There you go.
So, if they want to play basketball, they're up then.
That'll keep you young.
Or 15, I think now.
We have 15 signed up. We've had 12, as many as 12 at practice, so. I'll be honest, I'm really looking forward to it. After 2 days, it's been great working with him as a basketball coach. We think a lot alike. We're both pretty fundamental type coaches, and it's just been really good. And I'm looking forward to the season. So anything else for the good of the order? All right, we're adjourned.